Academy 8th grade family orientation for the 2021 school year. My name is Mr. Estep, and I'm the 8th grade U.S. history teacher, and I'll be walking you through some of the important information that you and your student will need to know for this upcoming school year. So first, we're going to go ahead and go into some introductions. Again, continuing to provide leadership for PUC National and all PUC schools, we have our co-founder and CEO of PUC National, Dr. Jacqueline Elliott. Also, again, Superintendent of PUC Schools, Ms. Connie Rivas. For some Triumph Charter Academy introductions, a lot of our returning parents, you'll know these ladies quite well, but these are our office staff at TCA, and these are the people that get things done, and they're going to be the ones who are going to be answering a lot of the questions that you might have. So our office assistants include Ms. Muro and Ms. Zamudio. And this year, Ms. Silva will be taking over as office manager. And again, we can't say how lucky we are to have these three ladies supporting Triumph Charter Academy and our families. Returning as the TCA administration, Ms. Gonzalez will be returning as our assistant principal, and Ms. Earl will be continuing as our principal at Triumph Charter Academy. So a little bit about our administration for Ms. Earl. She was actually a founding teacher at Triumph Charter Academy when we first opened. She taught math at TCA for 6 years, joined the instructional team at PUC and coached math teachers for 4 years, and this is her second year as the principal of Triumph Charter Academy, and she was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. For Ms. Gonzalez, she's been an educator since the year 2000. She was a teacher for 8 years, and she's been leading for 5. And this is her second year at Triumph Charter Academy, and she grew up right here in Sylmar. A few introductions. This year, we will be adding Miss Devletnian as our science teacher. She was our 6th grade science teacher, and now she's moving up to 8th grade. Returning as our English teacher, Miss Lee. Then Mr. Estep, that's me, your history teacher. This will be my 7th year teaching at Triumph Charter Academy. And returning as our math teacher, Miss Delgadillo. Again, we have a really great team this year, and we're all ready and willing to help and support our students and our families get through these difficult times and to learn everything they need to learn. Introducing some more new faces for the 8th grade, the visual and performing arts. For PE, we have Miss Maurice. For dance, Mr. Acero. And our art teacher, Mr. Galan. Again, these are new additions to the Triumph Charter Academy family, and they've already been digging in, working very hard to get things ready for our students and working with our teams, and we're very excited to have them on board. 8th grade inclusion specialists and assistants. Miss Perez is currently out on maternity leave, and she will be back soon. And for our assistants, we have Ms. Gonzalez and Ms. Seja returning. Again, they've been working with Triumph Charter Academy the last few years now, and they're here to support our students with whatever they may need to be successful. Here at PUC Triumph Charter Academy, we have our 3 commitments of PUC. First, 5 times more college graduates within the communities we serve. Commitment 2, after 4 years with us, students are proficient. And commitment 3, students commit to uplift our communities now and forever. Now, these commitments we take very seriously, as these are the core values of the teachers and administration and staff at Triumph Charter Academy, as well as PUC schools. We all have a desire to help our students become successful and to uplift the community where they came from. And we've already seen that. We've seen so many former students come back as teachers, as administrators, as supporters, inclusion. And so we are committed to these goals, and it is bearing fruit within the community. So here is PUC Triumph Charter Academy's vision, basically our values, hopes, and dreams. So TCA's big vision, focusing on the needs of populations that are underrepresented in college and professional careers, we strive to ensure that all PUC TCA scholars have the skills and the knowledge necessary to have all options of college and career training available to them post-high school, as well as to be equipped with the necessary abilities to be successful at any high school and gain admittance to any high school. Essentially, we want to make sure your students have every option available to them moving forward from middle school. That is our commitment, that is our goal, that is our vision for the future of our students here at PUC Triumph Charter Academy. So Triumph Tiger. So obviously our mascot is a tiger, if you weren't sure. And we've been using the 3 R's: respect, responsibility, and readiness. These are qualities and attributes we seek to help our students instill in themselves, and as well as help to spread these ideas throughout the community. At Triumph Charter Academy, we follow the 3 R's. We pledge to be respectful, responsible, and ready to learn at school and at home. So we want TCA Tigers to choose to be respectful, responsible, and ready to learn. And again, everything we do at TCA revolves around these 3 R's. And again, they are essential, we believe, to students being successful, not only in school, but in everyday life. So at Triumph Charter Academy last year, we created a creed for students to say during the morning. We hope that this practice will continue. And so we would really love for you and your students to look through the creed every day and, again, make this something as part of your daily routine. So I'll go through it with you right now. So it says, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And we truly believe that. Everything starts with just one little simple decision. If you're thinking good thoughts, you're going to say good words, you're going to have good actions, and those are going to become good habits. And we really want our students to embody this creed because we know it will help them be successful. So you'll be getting a 8th grade distance learning schedule if you haven't seen that already. This is just a very quick breakdown of how each day will look for your student. Starting with 8:30 a.m., we have period 1, which is going to be your elective. Okay, that could be art or dance. Then there is a break for 10 minutes, and then period 2. So each student is going to have their own schedule, but this period will be, one of your core subjects: math, history, English, science. Okay, and that those classes are an hour and 45 minutes long. Then we give students a 5-minute break, and then we'll be going into advisory, where students will learn, things like skills revolving around coping with stress, dealing with online learning. So trying to build other skills that don't necessarily fall into the core content classes. From 12 p.m. to 1:05 lunch. From 1:05 to 2:50 will be your second class for that day, and again, depending on your student schedule. From 2:50 to 3 is another break. Again, we want to make sure students aren't having to sit in front of a computer for long periods of time, and so we wanted to build in lots of breaks for students. And then at 3 to 3:30 is your, again, elective. So you have elective beginning your day and ending. Friday is a little bit different. You will be using something called a playlist. Now, a playlist is assignments that teachers will provide students, and then students will be doing those either on their own or with perhaps adult supervision within your home, or possibly with an inclusion assistant if available, if that's part of accommodations. So you'll see here that there is several blocks for science, math, and then for English as well. So Friday will be they won't be live with teachers, but they will be doing work throughout the day. And again, we would ask that you would have your students keep to this schedule, that they're working during these times, they're breaking during these times, eating lunch at their lunch break, so that they can get everything done before the end of that day. So again, this is a schedule. Your student will get a specific schedule with their exact classes on it. Either you've already got that or it'll be going out soon. Okay, so for a little bit of background information on why our schedule looks the way it does. Due to a Senate bill in Sacramento, there was a mandatory amount of minutes of instructions that schools are required to complete. These minutes break down to 240 minutes of live instruction for tested subjects each day. So if a subject is tested, math, English, science, they have to have 240 minutes of live instruction. That means the teacher is there guiding them, helping them, watching a video with them, but the teacher is there. Again, 240 minutes of live instruction for test subjects each week, including Fridays. So again, but for live instruction, it's going to happen Monday through Friday, along with independent work on Friday as well. So again, the Senate bills did affect how our schedule looks, and we also took feedback from the communities as well as teachers and staff members. So Friday, students will complete a playlist on their own. A playlist is a sequence of resources and or activities for students to complete, to personalize. Teachers implement playlists in conjunction or with personalized learning strategies to target specific student interests, skills, and needs. So again, most of the work on the playlist is going to be personalized for your student to help them learn from where they're at. So these are going to be practicing skills, maybe learning skills that were from the past that we need to reinforce. So again, it's going to be there to support your student so they can be successful moving forward. Just to give you a little bit more information, a playlist, again, is going to be a sequence of resources or activities to complete. Again, this is going to be with personalized learning strategies. So students are going to be learning things that are specific for that individual student to be successful. Playlists are mandatory. So these aren't like extra work. This is just part of the normal schoolwork students are going to be expected to complete and turn in at the end of Friday. And again, when we say end of Friday, we mean the end of the school day. So that would be 3:30. Participation points will be given weekly for completed playlists. So again, we're looking at students having to complete these playlists in order to get those points. And then students will be provided a playlist every Friday for math, science, and English. So we don't skip days. It's Monday through Thursday is that schedule of hour 45-minute blocks of classes, and then Friday is going to be that playlist. Just to give you an idea of what a playlist might look like. So you can see here we have a date, week 1, Friday, August 21st. Obviously, that's the next Friday after school starts. But you'll see assignment. It has a link to where it is with clear directions and any notes. So this will be what your student sees for that day, in this case, for math. And then the student will be expected to complete those assignments, and if they need help, to reach out to that teacher. We want to make sure everyone has input and that our community is being heard. So we will be continuing to do coffee with the principal. This is a chance for you to sit down with our principal, Ms. Earl, talk about what's going on, provide feedback from parents and families. We will be having quarterly meetings. And the School Advisory Council and English Learner Advisory Council, these groups are nominated and elected. They are a group of parents and staff who review academic data and give input on how to help students achieve academically. This group is required when a school receives Title I funding, which that would be us. If you're interested in serving on this committee, please email Mrs. Gonzalez at j.gonzalez@pucschools.org or call the main office. Again, these councils are very important, not only for our Title I funding, but because we really do want to hear from the families, from you guys, about how we're doing, as well as to look at the data and say, what can we do things better, or what things are we doing well to help our students succeed. So again, if you're interested in serving that, please email Mrs. Gonzalez. So let's get into some distance learning expectations. The first few weeks of school will be building relationships with teachers and classmates and reviewing of virtual classroom expectations. We will be continuing special education services for our students with IEPs. We highly encourage your child to have their video on at all times except for breaks. This will ensure students are able to collaborate with peers and teachers in order to talk about their learning and ask questions. So we know there's going to be a lot of questions revolving around video. We are asking that your student have their video on at all times because just like in a normal classroom, we thrive on the interaction, right? We want to be able to look at a student when we're talking to them. We want them to be able to see us when they're asking a question, or if we're asking students to talk to each other about their learning, we want them to be able to see each other. Now, obviously, if there's going to be times where a student has to turn off their video for whatever reason, we understand. But the idea is that our students are constantly seeing us and we're constantly seeing them to make sure that they're there, that they're not lost, that there's no technological issues. So again, we are asking that students have their video on at all times, obviously, except for breaks. Next, students must follow all virtual classroom rules set by teachers and staff. Students must respect teachers and peers. If a student does not meet expectations, parents will receive a phone call and will meet with Mrs. Gonzalez if the behavior continues. If necessary, they will have a meeting with Mrs. Gonzalez and or Ms. Earl, and a virtual meeting with student and family may be scheduled. So again, we're trying to treat online learning very much as in classroom learning, that we expect students to behave in a scholarly manner, and we'll get into the rules a little bit more in just a minute. Uniform. So PUC Triumph Charter Academy, of course, we had a uniform before, but your child does not need to wear the uniform, but please be presentable. So we are not asking students to wear their polos. We are asking them to be presentable, okay? So we're asking that you talk with your child about appropriate dress attire when learning online. Students will wear a shirt or sweatshirt, no tank tops or crop tops, no vulgar language on the shirt or sweatshirt. So what we're saying is kind of think about it as if it was a free dress day at school, right? We allow, when we had free dress, you could wear nice t-shirts, you could wear button-ups, you could wear whatever you want as long as it's school appropriate. So we're asking you to keep those same rules. So nothing that is revealing, nothing with vulgarity. If there's an image on there, please make sure it is school appropriate. Again, we're asking that you kind of keep those guidelines in mind when a student logs in. If the attire should not interfere with your child's learning or the learning of others, right? Teachers do not want to stop the learning or have to use up time of the classroom to ask a student to go change their clothing. We don't want to do that. We want students in front of their computers learning the entire time. Okay, if your child does not follow appropriate dress attire, Mrs. Gonzalez will follow up with the student and family. So again, we don't think this will be an issue, but just please think about it this way. If it's not appropriate for school, it's not appropriate to use for online distance learning. Okay. Student workspace. This is going to be very important. So please create a workspace with a desk if possible, comfortable chair for your student or students. This will help each child separate their personal home space with their academic space. So I know for me personally, in my own home, we set up an area in our front room with a desk, and we put some stuff on the walls there to kind of make it more like an office space, like a calendar. And this helps, for me, separate work from home. And so if you can create that space in your home, I know that's not always possible, but if you could somehow create a space that's kind of just for your students to learn, that's going to help them stay more focused in on their learning and maybe not be distracted by things going on around the house. We are asking that students purchase headphones as a way to block out background noise and support with your child's learning. So if a student has headphones on, one, they're not going to hear distractions going on in the house, and two, if we're asking students to share with us, we won't be hearing all that background noise of people talking or things going on in the background. So not only does it just keep everybody focused on the conversation, it's a really good way to help students stay focused on their work. And again, these can be, the 99-cent store headphones. We would ask that they have a microphone with them built in, or if possible, to have the microphone built in with your computer. Make sure that's turned on. But either way, all subjects are requiring for you to have headphones. Workspace do's and don'ts. So you can see here on the left, the student has kind of a desk space. He's got headphones on, and he's focused on his work. On the right-hand side, we see someone laying on their bed. They have their computer on their lap, and they have books and stuff. Again, we really want students to be focused in on this learning, and we know from studies and data that students, when they're like laying in bed or laying on their couch and they're kind of just in their own space, they're not going to be as focused as if they're sitting somewhere with a chair and a table or desk focused in on their work. So we're asking that you help monitor your students' workspace. Online learning expectations. So all families signed a consent form to have their child's video camera turned on. So if you have not filled that form out, please reach out to Triumph Charter Academy so we can get you that form. Please review the background of your child's workspace as it will be seen by other peers on camera. So when you turn your camera on, Obviously, the people watching are going to see some things going on in the background. They're going to see what's behind you. So we just ask that make sure that there's nothing inappropriate there or nothing that you don't want to be seen or that could be a distraction to other people as we are in class. So please make sure whatever space that you choose for your student to work, that it just be kind of free of things that could be a distraction. When on camera, it should reflect what it looks like in the classroom. And then please follow the 3 R's, which we'll, again, come back to in just a second. The 8th grade teachers just wanted to give you a little bit more detail. Students are expected to show up to their class sessions on time and on mute. Students shouldn't have to mute their microphone, but just in case it's not, we ask students to come in with their microphones muted. That way it's not a little chaotic with a bunch of people talking or talking to their families, things like that. But again, we are expecting students to show up on time for class because roll is being taken. Attendance is being taken. And if a student shows up late, we would have to mark that as tardy. So please make sure that students are logging in just a couple minutes before their class starts. That way, if there's any technical problems, they can email the teacher and let them know. Please do not unmute unless the teacher instructs you to do so. So if a teacher is asking you to answer a question or wants to talk with you, otherwise the microphone should be muted to, again, help students and the teacher focus in on what's being taught and any discussions being had. Please make sure to create and maintain a quiet learning environment if possible. Again, we know that things are what they are, and sometimes noises are going to happen. The doorbell is going to ring. Babies are going to be hungry or upset. We understand. But to the best of your ability, please help your student have a quiet learning environment so they can focus all on learning and not any other distractions. Please maintain proper school-wide behavior expectations online. So that, again, would be maintaining the 3 R's. Using scholarly language. So again, just like at school, we want our students to use scholarly language to be prepared for their future. Keep distractions to a minimum. So if a student has their laptop and they have multiple windows open and they're looking at things and not just the learning, that's going to be a distraction. If they have their phones in front of them, that's going to be a distraction. And then again, please keep the video on. Grading has not changed. But grading bands, just to make sure that everybody is informed, 90% to 100% would be considered an A on assignments and in your grade. 80% to 89% would be a B, 70 to 79% a C, and of course 0 to 69% would be an F, as we do not do Ds here at PUC Triumph Charter Academy. All right, what to expect day 1 of school. We're getting to the end. Just hang with me for a few more minutes. We're going to finish it up. Monday, August 17th, first day of school. Students will access each teacher's class on Zoom. So you'll be getting, if you haven't received it already, a link to a Zoom classroom, okay? When your student goes to that Zoom classroom on day 1, Monday, August 17th, they will get the code for that teacher's Google Classroom. So students have to show up to that first Zoom meeting to get their Google Classroom code, which has all their information. So Zoom links to student classes can be found on your TCA website, the Distant Learning website, and in Miss Earl's welcome letter sent through text, which I believe was already sent out. Student schedules by cohort will be sent home via email on Friday. So again, day 1, please make sure your student has all the links they need for Zoom, because once they get on that link, once they get on that Zoom call, teachers will provide their Google Classroom codes, which will allow them to do their work, complete their work, and turn it in. So 8th grade material list. So these are the things we're asking for your student to have with them for the classes. Again, like we talked about earlier, headphones, preferably with a microphone, scientific calculator, 2 boxes of pencils. If you decide to go with mechanical pencil, please make sure you have enough of the lead refills. Pencil sharpener, again, if you have regular pencils. An eraser, a ruler, a red, black, or blue pen, color pencils, highlighters, preferably in the 3 colors, yellow, green, and pink. So those are just kind of materials you'll need for several classes. So make sure you have those, preferably day 1 of school. If not, make sure you try to do that as soon as possible. Some subjects have specific materials you'll need in order to complete those classes. So starting from the left, for visual arts, you'll need a sketchbook, which is optional, or blank paper / printer paper. So you can pick up a sketchbook, again, from anywhere, 99-cent store, Walmart, wherever you want to do that. Or you can just have that blank white computer paper for students to draw on, okay? Again, the visual arts is asking for one ebony pencil, that's optional, and then a thin tip black Sharpie. So the Sharpies that have like the really thin tip at the end. For math, please have a graph ruled spiral notebook. For English, you'll need a college ruled composition notebook with 3 packs of Post-its. For science, a college ruled composition notebook. PE, college ruled composition notebook. And then for our DELD students, you'll need a college ruled composition notebook, markers, preferably the Crayola 10 pack. Okay. So these are the materials that you'll need. Again, the ones at the top, the common materials, are things you're going to use in multiple classes. And at the bottom, you can see the specific materials there. If you're looking for history, I only require headphones, as we'll be doing everything online. So going back to our expectations for students in the classroom, we wanted to be very clear about the online behavior ladder. So these are the sequential steps if a student is choosing to use non-scholarly behavior. So students not following online behavior expectations may experience the following: a verbal warning. If the behavior continues, the teacher will put the student in a room virtually by themselves. After that, if the behavior still continues, parents will be contacted as well as administrators. If the behavior continues to be exhibited, we will request a parent shadow, where parents would need to be present during classes, meaning we would have to see you and your student on your camera during classes, because again, we want you to make sure you're seeing the behavior and that students understand that that behavior should not continue. If the behavior does happen to continue, we will have to set up a meeting with administration, with the family and the student present. Okay, so we just wanted to be very clear about the expectations and then the steps if those expectations are not met. So assignment expectations, turning in work. So assignments are due at the end of the class period the same day. So for example, if your student has class with me, Mr. Estep, in the morning from 9 to 10, 9:15 to 10:45, the assignment for that class would be due by the end of that class period. So we don't want students to be working outside of the classroom setting. Okay, we don't want students to be constantly on their computer, and so teachers are designing their classwork to be completed that day. Okay, so if a student is logged in on time, paying attention, collaborating, working, they should have no other work for that class outside of the class period. Okay, missed work / classwork for absent student is due the next class period. So for example, if I have your student Monday and Wednesday for class, and for some reason internet was down, emergency, and your student could not do their work on Monday, well, they would have Tuesday and then Wednesday before the class starts to complete that work. And again, all work will be online, so students will be able to access it at any time. So, but if a student is not able to complete their work, if they don't show up for class, they will have basically one full day to complete their work before the next time they see that teacher. If there's going to be multiple absences, you need extra time because you're going to be gone a couple days or something like that, please let your teacher know at least 24 hours for the due date and explaining why you need the extra time. So again, we really want to help and be supportive, but we have to know because when a student emails us an hour after the assignment is due saying I need more time, that's a lot different than a student emailing us several hours or 24 hours and ahead of time saying I need more time. So again, we want to help and be supportive. We just have to know as far ahead of time as possible. So assignments not turned in by the due date will receive a 0. So this is for students who are in the class, not working and didn't turn it in. Again, if your student is absent, they will be given additional time to complete it. Note, we are asking, please practice academic honesty in line with the 3 R's in regards to your work. In other words, cheating or plagiarism on any assignment will result in a 0. So what we're saying is if a teacher gives you a reading to do and there's questions attached to that reading, we ask that you get the answers from the reading, not to go online, not to give answers to other classmates. Essays, if you're writing an essay, it should be 100% your work. It should not be copied or pasted. Even parts of it should not be copied and pasted. The only time other people's words should appear is when you're using a quote and you're giving that quote evidence to say that I got this from somewhere. Okay, so please no cheating or plagiarism. That's an automatic 0. There is no way to make up that grade. We take academic honesty very seriously here at Triumph Charter Academy, and we want our students to take it seriously as well. Next, please complete the assignment to the best of your ability. Extra work or extra credit will not be provided and should not be expected. Again, teachers pour their heart and souls into their work, and they give every amount of support they can, and so students do not expect to get extra credit work. Okay, please complete the work that you're given to the best of your ability every time. Complete assignments on time, and you will not have to be worried for your grade. This is going to be an English language arts specific slide, so reading logs and SSR books. Reading logs, your students should know what these are. These look exactly like they did in 7th grade for your students, but continue to read 35 to 40 pages daily and complete the daily logs found in your English Google Classroom. New links will be posted weekly. Logs will be checked every Monday, and new logs will be posted at the same time. You need SSR books. Read a book of your own choice. If you need access to ebooks, check your local library online or email Ms. J. Lee at e.lee@pucschools.org for access codes to a free online library. All right, how/when do I contact teachers? Please use email or Schoology first to contact teachers. Schoology is going to be the main platform for Triumph Charter Academy. It should be up and running in the next couple weeks. And there's a communication platform there, but otherwise you should use the teacher's email, which will be at the end of this presentation. So when should I contact my teachers? Teachers will be available from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Mondays through Fridays. Please keep contact within those hours if possible. If contacting teachers after 4 p.m., please check the following morning for a response. So again, we're asking to keep responses or questions between 9 and 4, which are the school hours. So please make sure you're contacting us then. And if something does arise and you do have a question or something and it's after 4, we would go ahead and just ask you to wait till the next morning for a response. Now, some of our teachers may respond back, but our policy is that after 4, the teacher will respond the following day. Okay? Google Voice numbers are going to be provided to families and students for our teachers, but they should be used only as a last resort for emergencies only. Okay, most of our communication, in fact, almost all of it, is not going to be considered an emergency, so please use email and Schoology before thinking about calling or texting. Email and communication expectations. So we're asking for students to take their scholarly language and habits and put that into the way they communicate with teachers. This is a skill that's going to be not only useful in school, but for whatever job they choose, whatever profession they go into, if they choose to go to college, things like that. So when writing an email, how do we do that? Well, we're going to write in complete sentences using proper spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Now, Google or Gmail has tools in it that'll tell you if something's being spelled incorrectly. Please pay attention to those. In the subject line of an email, you should provide a short sentence that will let the reader know what the message is generally about. So examples, question regarding my grade, or clarification on assignment instructions. So that's the subject should just give the teacher or the person you're contacting just a general idea of what your email is about. Please do not write your entire message in the subject line. Okay, that space is not meant for an entire message, and teachers will ask you to resubmit your email if that's the case. In the main body of the email, you should start with, hello, Mr. or Miss, and then the teacher's last name. So, for example, hello, Mr. Estep. Again, kind of like starting a letter. Please write out your message being careful of word choice and tone. Be professional. End your email with thank you and put your first and last name. When you receive an email, make sure to read the entire email before responding back with additional questions. So if you do ask a question and your teacher responds, please make sure to read the entire email before you reply with any more questions. Because again, sometimes we read it very quickly and then we ask the same question even though the teacher already answered it or the person you're contacting already answered it. So just make sure you're carefully reading your email before you send it and when you get a response. So for an example of what that would look like, so in the subject, you can see here it says question about my grade. And the email starts with, hello, Mr. Estep. I had a question regarding my grade. I was looking at my grade and I noticed that I had a 0 for assignment number 1. I believe I turned in the assignment before the end of class on Monday at around 11 a.m. would you mind double checking to see if my assignment was turned in? Thank you. And then the student would put their first and last name. So this is just an example of a very professional email in regarding to a question about my grade, right? Because teachers do make mistakes. So, if you notice you should be checking your grade every day. And if you're noticing, hey, wait, I know I turned that in, this is a really a very professional way to ask your teacher to check that grade to see if there was a mistake. And again, we do make mistakes. So again, we want you to get the grade that you earned. So if you do see a mistake, please reach out to your teachers as quickly as you see it. That's why checking your grade every day is really important. Okay, so contact information. So here you're going to see on the left-hand side the subject, the teacher's name, and then their emails. So again, this information will also be provided in the 8th grade syllabus, which students will be receiving, and so you'll be able to email it from there, but we wanted to give you the opportunity, if you needed to send an email. All right. Connect with your child in school. We are partners. Communication is key. Communicate with your child. Communicate with teachers and office/administration. Check your phones and social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram for information. School only works if we are all communicating together. Teachers and students, students with their families, teachers and families, administration with teachers, students and families. I mean, we all have to be talking to each other and we all have to be informed. Because at the end of the day, we all want our students to be successful. And that only happens if we are all on the same page, we're communicating, we have up-to-date information, we know what's going on with our student and with school. So please make sure you're communicating, reaching out to your teachers as well as your office and administration. All right, that's it. Thank you for being with us. I know it was a little bit of a long video. We just really appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions, you can email Miss Earl or Miss Gonzalez. Starting at 6 p.m. On Thursday, we will be having a live Zoom session to answer questions from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you watch this video and I didn't answer your questions, I'm sorry. First, I apologize. And second, please feel free to join us from 6 p.m. to 7 on Zoom. The Zoom link will be given out by Ms. Gonzalez. And there you can ask us any questions that you might still have about the beginning of the school year. And again, we want you to feel informed. We want you to feel confident about our first day in school. So we are there to be answering your questions. All 8th grade teachers should be there, as well as administration. So again, feel free to come and ask us any questions. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And hopefully we'll be seeing you at the Zoom link a little bit later. Thank you.